And then again, you always want to keep your CPA firm kind of in the loop. So you remember that you can share your file because it's online, which is great, with a CPA. So my accountant, you can basically give them actually access to the software typically. Now, so that is going to be a huge possible benefit. Noting again that when you talk or think about picking up a CPA firm or a tax preparer, in the United States, for small businesses, your main concern might be taxes, which is fine. But some tax preparers may have more or less expertise in businesses. And if you do taxes, even for small businesses, it would really be helpful to know some bookkeeping information like adjusting entries, because you're going to have to do at least a few adjusting entries for taxes. In other words, one of the reasons, like the software, they haven't been able to integrate the software to just create your taxes. So in other words, you know that Intuit owns QuickBooks and Intuit owns TurboTax. So you would think you can just enter your information into QuickBooks, and if you did it right, you can just integrate QuickBooks to TurboTax. Or why don't they just make a QuickBooks to have tax integrated in it that can actually generate your Form 1040 with a Schedule C on it or something like that? And one of the reasons they can't really do that is because there's at least a few things that you're pretty much always going to have a problem with taxes. One of them is, for example, the auto mileage, right? Because they're going to do it. If you use a mileage method for automobiles, well, then that's not how you're going to bookkeep for it in QuickBooks, because you're going to just put it in there for how much you actually spent on it. You also might have problems if you have personal expenses, breaking out the personal, versus the business. So there's just a few things that are always going to be kind of an issue. So that's why I haven't seen a better method of integration to just go seamlessly from one software to the other. You're going to have to basically take the income statement, and then I would put it into Excel and do a couple adjusting entries in Excel so I can see it in a transparent format, and then enter it into QuickBooks or your tax software, so that you can see the reconciliation, so that you can then be prepared for the event of an audit, which hopefully doesn't happen. But if it does, it might happen 3 years later, in which case you're going to have totally forgotten what you reported, and you would like to have the reconciliation and possibly some communication with the CPA firm or tax preparer that made it, which oftentimes, again, people don't really think about until it's too late, right? 3 years later comes, you get audited, you don't talk to anybody, you're not talking to the person that assisted you at QuickBooks for TurboTax, or you got just a quick tax preparer, but you're not communicating with them, and now you don't really know exactly what happened, and you're kind of at the mercy of the auditor in that case, right? So in any case, but again, that's my bias as an accountant. But I would recommend, if you're getting into a business, that you look for an accountant that has some bookkeeping experience, which usually, if they're a CPA, they would have an extensive amount of just accounting knowledge. So just to keep that in mind. And then of course you can share your file with them and kind of keep them in the loop. They might be, and obviously most CPA firms and tax preparers, if they deal with business returns, would be familiar with QuickBooks Online, because it's one of the largest types of software, and for small to mid-size businesses. So that's the general idea. So when you're looking for help, the question is, do I need technical help? Do I need billing help? Or do I need bookkeeping help? If you need technical help on the software, then of course you want to contact Intuit itself and say, hey, the software's not working, or my account's having a problem, or the billing's changed, I need to level up on my billing, or do I have access to this resource or whatever. If you have bookkeeping problems, then I would always want to keep your accountant, the end result, in your mind. The end result, I want to get the financial statements correct to make taxes as easy as possible and year-end reporting. Therefore, I'm going to keep my accountant in the loop as I look for resources, which might be in the help button here, might be in a Google search, might be on the website, and then I can think about using and paying for the added resources within QuickBooks. But personally, I'm somewhat still skeptical of that, although I think it has possible potential, but it's still not been proven. It's not proven to me yet to be to be the place to go. I'd rather go to my, like, a CPA firm if I would. But so that's the general idea.